Hello and welcome to another edition of Video Games to the Max, the first one we've had in 3 weeks. It was only supposed to be a 2 week break, but I got sick after coming back from Puerto Rico, so it was extended an extra week. We will get into the major news that's happened since we've been gone. And we are on the eve of the Nintendo Direct, Switch 2 Direct. We are going to have a special episode for that that I'm going to do. We'll do it won't be right after or during, it'll be a few hours after, but we'll do it the same day. So you'll get a separate episode in your feed that'll just be us talking about the supposed to be 60-minute Nintendo Switch 2 Direct. Are you going to try to get a Nintendo Switch 2 if the pre-orders go out the same day, or
If it's like a same thing, yeah. Like if Amazon just puts up a pre-order link and it's good, then sure, why not? But if it's like some screwy system, forget it.
do you have a price? Would $400 or $500 make you say no if it was in the $500 range, or it doesn't matter?
Yeah, I'd say 400 is probably my upper limit.
Yeah, I think I would have to think about it. At least getting it launched if it's
Well, I know you're
500.
gonna get it regardless, but
I don't know. I don't know. I think 500. I think I might have to really consider.
look how much
Uh,
you love your current Switch. I mean,
but 400 for sure. I'm gonna be sitting there trying to be on get it that same day or whatever. Yeah, we'll see. Obviously, it does depend on that as well, right? Like if the Amazon link works or whatever. If it's something where it's one of those where they make you have to pay that day, I'm probably not going to be able to because I got to use
yeah,
all the money I got left to fix the brakes on my car. So
that's why Amazon's good for that because they don't
yeah,
charge. So
exactly. All right, so we'll talk about all that. We'll talk about the Xbox Project Kennan, all that stuff, and what's been going on with Sony, Ubisoft, the games we're playing: Assassin's Creed Shadows for Marc, Xenoblade Chronicles X for me, Split Fiction as well, and we'll get into all that and more right after this.
You are listening to Video Games to the Max.
All right, so let's go ahead and get this housekeeping stuff out of the way. If this is your first time watching or listening, or your 100th time, we do appreciate you. Thank you for checking us out, whether you watch live, which normally it's on Mondays around 8:30, 9-ish. We're doing it on Tuesday because other things happen. So, and like I said, we are doing the one on Wednesday for just the Switch 2 Direct. You can also just watch on demand later on the YouTube channel, W2M Network. And then you can, if you subscribe, follow, hit that bell, you'll get anytime we do a show, it'll just appear there. You get the notification. You can watch whenever you want. If you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you also get our other shows that we do, which they were doing all their stuff while I was gone. Otaku Cafe, which covers anime. They do a great job of covering all the seasonal anime. So if you keep up with seasonal anime and you're always looking for something to watch, or you want to watch or listen to some guys that are extremely knowledgeable about that, talk about it, definitely go check them out. Also, Routcher Broadcasting, they do all the entertainment stuff. So anytime there's a new movie, or they keep up with some of the major TV shows, there's a review for that. So definitely go check them out too. That's about it. You can also listen on podcasts as well. So definitely worth going and checking that out. However it is you want to check us out, we do appreciate you. So that's it. Let's go ahead and get into the actual games that we're playing here, Marc.
sure.
Let's start with you. You've been playing that Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Yep.
So
I mean, I got it like launch day or down. That's when I grabbed it.
mhm.
I've dumped uh, 45, 48 hours into that thing
Wow.
and barely touched the story.
Barely touched the story. Okay, so you have been just exploring, doing the side quests and stuff.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's a pretty big world. I wouldn't say it's as big as Odyssey's, maybe, but it is fairly dense. And it's also like the next, you hit a not a flat checkpoint, but you hit a oh, I forget the name of that thing, the synchronization point where that you can the map does like a 360, and it just
Okay.
unlocks like 4 icons like close to you. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna go check those out, I guess now. Uh, so yeah, and also, so that game is really weird about the story. Like, it presents this
Yeah.
thing where it's like, oh, the Shinbakufu killed your dad. It's just this evil cult or whatever. So it's like, okay, I gotta go kill those guys. But then it's like, the sphere grid in Final Fantasy X?
Yeah.
It starts looking like that,
Really?
where
Okay.
you get this like the main sphere or the main circle is like the Shinbakufu, but then it's like all these like it looks like the picture from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with the one guy Charlie is like the conspiracy nut thing, where
Yes.
you start getting all these like weird other circles and we like completely off the wall shit. So it's like, oh, I'm in this castle trying to kill the like there are castles and outposts and stuff. You got to kill like certain people in it uh to like not liberate, but basically just to get like open the chest in the castle. So it's like, oh, this castle has 3 samurai to kill, and you can find them pretty easily. You kill them, but then you just kill like one random guy, and he like unlocks like another circle and like another conspiracy, and it's like, what? How did this? Where did this come from? It's like,
Yeah.
uh, so it's really expansive with that stuff. But like, I'm not even sure like I'm not sure where most of the stuff is coming from. Because it's like, oh, it's like another sinister society, another sinister conspiracy in Japan. It's like, okay, so far I got like 9 of those going on. Like, I guess sure.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like a lot of the people's critiques are the writing is not great for this. But the other stuff of Assassin's Creed is what you expect,
Yeah.
right? Do you like playing as Nawe a lot, or you
Yeah,
like both?
I'm playing more as her. I don't really like Yasuke. Uh, and unlike the usual racists on Twitter, it's not because he's African American. I don't like
Right.
playing him because he doesn't have eagle vision, so it makes getting around like really hard because you
Mhm.
can't see through walls. He can't. He can kind of climb up walls, but he sucks at it. Uh, like you can't really stealth around him. Like he's not really built for it. He's more
Okay.
of the combat guy. But the problem is I've completely broken how Nawe plays, so I can kill way more effectively with her than I can ever do with him.
Yeah. I've
uh,
Would you
I think
say
I get
that Yasuke is like almost like an action game character? Like they kind of put
yeah,
him in.
kind of. He's more like yeah, like I got like he has a big well he has like the range character because Nawe has like kunai and like shurikens, but they kind of suck. He's
Right.
like he has a bow and he has a gun that also kind of sucks, but it's a little more effective, I guess. But playing as her, like I have like a scorpion spear that it's used to assassinate with, and then I unlock the ability. It's like this like dodge attack thing where I dodge an enemy, time slows for like 10 seconds, and I can just keep on ripping up that enemy because there's another ability where you can just keep doing it over and over. So they are like I can get hit occasionally if I'm not really paying attention, but I have an ability that like also makes it so I auto dodge every attack for like 15 seconds. So that's game breaking in like a really fun way. Like I just did a mission where I had to play as Yasuke for a few parts of it, and I'm like, ugh. Like it's like okay, it's cool that he's stronger and can like bust through doors like the Kool-Aid Man, but that's about it.
Like man.
No, it
Does it
literally is
give
like
you the option to play as them more often than not, or is it like where it kind of forces you to play as one or the other?
For like the story missions, it gives you a choice, and for
Okay.
regular missions, it doesn't really matter. But I think there are specific missions where it's like a Yasuke story mission or Nawe, which is fine. I'll admit, I played that game. Like the opening of the game starts you as Yasuke for like the first, not even half hour. I'd say like 15 minutes, and it has you play as Nawe for like the next 10 hours. So that could probably be dropped down if you like really mainline the story, but like you didn't even get the option to go back to him until you complete like some of the story. So
It's story based off of.
huh?
It's based off of like how much of the story you do. It's
Yeah, at least until you unlock him, and then once you get like him unlocked, it's just like a menu option to like, oh, switch to Yasuke or switch, whoever you want to play as. Uh, the gear, you have a lot of gear in that game. The gear menu sucks because you can't mark gear like for like junk or to like sell off quickly or just disassemble. You gotta select every piece of gear, and now I have 6 slots, and I think Yasuke has like 8. And it's like, this is a drag because I'm getting all this like green. It's like, it literally is like the Diablo level system of like, green, blue, purple, yellow for
yeah.
rarity. And it's like, I don't care about any of this green or blue gear. I really don't care about the purple gear either. For, uh, just sell it all, or let me just like break it down in the field or something, because going through this menu really stinks. It has that Animal Crossing ish mode that they kept talking about, like the build your base or the build your homestead. That sucks. Uh, you know, you care about 6 buildings. The 6
To be
buildings that
fair, you don't like that in most games.
I mean, it was fine in like Yakuza, like a
Oh,
dragon, or
the
not
like a
like a dragon, but
dragon,
the Hawaiian
the
one.
infinite wealth. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, but it sucks here because you only care about 6 buildings. The 6 buildings that like uh generate or have passive bonuses. It's like, okay, this building, once you build it, you get a 20% ration efficiency, or like this building, the dojo, you can like train up your allies better. But it's like, oh, you can build pathways, you can build connecting buildings between your 6 or 9 quote unquote main buildings. And it's like, okay, but why would I do that? Like, it's just wasting resources when you could be like upgrading the buildings themselves. And I'm at the point now where they're all upgraded. So it's like, okay, next. Like, why
There's
would I
not
do
much
any?
for you to do.
Yeah. And like you get the option to like, oh, customize the floor, the padding, or the ceilings, but so much of that stuff is like hidden away. You gotta like go find it in the game world or to go buy it. So it's like, why even bother? Like, I'd rather just have it be like an old Assassin's Creed game where you just buy something, in the world, and just have it be built and that be it.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Uh, so yeah, I really like it. I'm playing it on PC. It ain't the most stable thing in the world. Like, it hasn't crashed or anything, but like, Nawe sucks. Even she's like the stealthy, supposed to be like athletic character, and she even kind of sucks at like climbing shit. I've had like numerous times I should be able to climb up a wall, and she just doesn't do it.
Mhm.
Uh, she has a grappling hook kind of that is terrible. Like, it only works on certain buildings, and even then, like, barely. So it's like, okay, I'm using this thing to get up this tall ass temple to get to the synchronization point. That's about it. Like, they make you do it in the opening where like you can like use it to assassinate a guy, like Tarzan swing across this riverbank or river to like get in this base to kill the guy. And it's like, okay, that's cool, but like the game itself has none of that. Like, no opportunity whatsoever. So it was like this like weird bespoke thing for like the training mission, and that's it. Like, even the grappling hook from like Syndicate was like way better because it was actually useful, or you could use it damn near anywhere. Uh What else?
I mean, but for the most part, like, do you find like the world interesting, or is it kind of just
Yeah, it's good. The it looks really nice. This it has like a seasonal system that's really it's okay. The only season that's kind of interesting is the winter one because like all the not all but most of the, like rivers and stuff like freeze over, so you can like walk on them, which is cool. But uh the like if it's not a main character, like not a main bad guy, like every NPC in the game is like ass ugly, like it felt out of
yeah?
like a PS3 game kind of, or like the most generic people. Uh, it has almost none of the present day stuff. That
Okay,
really annoys me.
that's what you like because the present. I thought you said that was it was so convoluted now that it's like
I mean,
not
they left it on a cliffhanger with Valhalla, and uh, Mirage didn't do anything. It
right.
had like, and this does even less. It has like a very like a minute long, barely minute long, I guess, like intro where like some voice is talking to you through an animus like object. Like they barely even call it an animus. They only call it the animus in like the actual game menus. But you have like no sense of who you are in the present day or what's going on or anything. So this might be the perfect game for Jens because he hates all that shit. I like it, but they've so fucked it up that I can't imagine what they're gonna get what they can do with it now. Uh, and judging from the Wikipedia, there's nothing at the end. Like I read the Wikipedia, it's like plot summary, and I was like, at the end, is it like, oh, does Desmond come back or Layla or what's going on? And like, no, it
Yeah.
just ends. And I said, okay, that's anticlimactic, but sure.
Would you say this is a good Assassin's Creed for people that haven't played a lot of Assassin's Creed? Is it like more like Mirage and the older ones, or is it
No, it definitely is like Valhalla or Origins or
okay?
Odyssey. So it does have like RPG mechanics, like you do like level up, and it has all that gear stuff, and like you can't like assassinate everyone because like there are some guys who are like way higher level than you, and they're just like they either get damaged or they'll just like shrug it off completely.
Right.
And initially, when I played the game, it had a really good level system where it's like, okay, this one region is only like level 15, and the next region is level 22, and like the really top region is level 40. But now I'm like level 48 or 38, sorry. And there are so many it basically equalized all the levels. So like even like the starting level now is like level 35 or something. And I hate that. I don't like level scaling because it really destroys like I want to be able to go back to like
Yeah,
the
you don't
starting
get to feel
area.
the overpowered or whatever,
Yeah.
right? It's
And if you want to have like this like the later zones be like stronger or still be the same level, that's fine. But like why bother leveling to I want to I want to get stronger, feel like I'm actually doing something and I can't or I'm not doing it. Uh I was able to watch all of the Magician's TV show as I played this game.
yeah.
I had it on in the background, and it's a 5 season show, so I'm like, all right. I'm starting The Expanse right now. I already finished season one, so it's the perfect show to like watch or perfect game to play and like watch a TV show in the background.
Why? Because it's slow, or just
You don't need to like focus too much on the game itself. Like you can get in the tricky spots, but if you build your character out in specific ways, like the game becomes a total cakewalk. So
okay?
a fun cakewalk. And the biggest problem for me is like there are the game is or like the level not the level the world is very mountainous and hilly,
Yeah.
and there are some areas where you just can't climb up. So she'll like climb up a little and then like slide back down. So it's more about like trying to find out how to get to this, how to get up this stupid mountain. Uh, you have a horse, but it's very ineffective.
Yeah.
And you have this like bread trail system. I think it's called like pathfinding. So it's like, oh, you put a marker down and you activate it, and it will try to like guide you like a GPS you to like where you need to go, but like barely works. I'd put like a marker down, and it'd be like, I have no idea how to get there. And it's like, yo, dog, this is on the map. Like, How can you not
Right.
know how to get here? Like,
Like you should.
I really like it. I don't think it's a perfect game, but it's damn sight better than like Mirage. Uh, and I think it's enjoyable. It does have one really weird song. I was playing as Yasuke. No, I was playing as Nawe, sorry, and it was a fight with this big guy. I mean, kind of the opening like few hours of the thing, and I started fighting this guy in this like Japanese surf rock song for the plane, and I'm like, this seems really weird or like
Like
really
out of
anachronistic.
place. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, like the music in this game is pretty good, but this is like breaking the immersion a little. Like, I like it. I'll keep playing it. Or I'll eventually finish it, but like it's really massive. So I hope you got 100 hours to kill, or
All right. Well, that's good that you're enjoying it. One
Yep,
of the games you've been looking forward to
yep,
has been nailing it, so that's good.
yep. Happy to get it for free.
Um and you got it for free.
I got a friend of mine mailed me like he got like an Intel code, so I'm playing it with like
Oh, okay.
Ubisoft launcher.
The launcher you don't like, but of course, yeah, like you said,
Hey, if it's
complain about
free,
free.
yeah.
But all right. What about Split Fiction?
I only played the first 2 hours, 2 or 3 hours with Jens. Uh, it's all right. I think I might like. It Takes
It
Two a
Takes
little
Two.
better. It has like a better narrative hook, I guess. Uh, there's something in that game though where like if you don't know what to do with the specific thing, the game doesn't tell you what to do. Like not a tutorial, but like maybe a hint system or maybe a skip this specific puzzle thing. Like if both players like accept it, then you just move the hell on. Because there were at
Yeah.
least like 2 times where me and Jens got stuck, and I'm like had like frantically like look up a YouTube tutorial on like how to do this one thing or whatever. Uh, and we got to a point where he's like holding on to like this raft thing. It's like well, basically like a big branch in poison water, and I'm like dragging it along, and he had like moved a wall of spikes to the left, so I could like quickly guide him through it. And we did it about 5 times, and he kept dying, or we kept, and that was kind of his breaking point for the night because it was like 1:30 or 2 a.m. He was like, I gotta go to bed, and I'm all right.
Right.
And then I looked up on the guy, like a guide later, how to do it, and it was like, no, you're just supposed to do it. It's like you're just supposed to be better or be faster. And I'm like, I don't have a speed boost. Like, I was going as fast as I can, I think, and I couldn't make this. Like,
Interesting.
so it's a weird blend of sci-fi and fantasy, uh, and it has a lot of the co-op shit that It Takes Two or the prison game presumably had, where it's like, oh, I have to pilot the spaceship and Jens is the gunner, or uh, I have to like run across this wall and slice these wires for him to be able to progress in his path. So it's stuff like that. Mm. The story is incredibly predictable, by the way, at least so far. But
So
right,
it's two writers that all of a sudden wind up in each other's like stories, right? It's
yeah, like the premise is they're at this like yeah like not VR, but like this company is like, oh, if you go on these pods, you'll be able to extract the story you want to write. And everyone's kind of down for it, except for like the one, like the sci-fi girl. She's like, wait, this sounds kind of skeevy. And then she kind of tries to run away, and they grab her, and she accidentally gets thrown in with the fantasy girl. So that's why it's like a merging of ideas. And the system is kind of
yeah.
like glitching out because it's not supposed to be two people. Only you find out like, oh, the company's not stealing. It's not making a book out of your one idea. It's making a book out of all your ideas. Like it's stealing them. And it's like, yeah, no, duh. Like
It feels like it's a story on
when
like
his
a kind of a talk about AI or
Yeah, it's like when is a big company ever been good, you know? Like,
right.
but there was one kind of cool. They have like these glitches in the thing where it's kind of like more bespoke levels. So like one was like almost like a Prince of Persia type level or like environment,
Mhm.
and one was like this like weird farm thing where like both characters were pigs, and like my pig could like air fart a small distance like horizontally. Like I was literally like farting out rainbows, you know.
Yeah.
And Jens could like separate himself. He was like a pig spring and like could like jump up like and like land higher. Uh,
Yeah.
so those are kind of cool. And like it ends like that one ends with like really gnarly where like you go from like the farm to like a picnic, and then you become sausages or hot dogs. And the way to win it is like you have to like you have to like cook yourself and then cover yourself with like ketchup and mustard and then be eaten. And that's how it ends.
Yeah.
And this is weird, but okay. But most of it's like we were in this like sci-fi, you know, Blade Runner looking place, and I had like a sword, and he could like energy whip shit, and I was all right, I guess. And we did like a Tron light cycle fight, basically.
That's fun.
Yeah, so
I'm
hopefully we'll go
looking
back to it.
forward to playing it with an eye at some point. Just
Yeah, it might be better like if you're like local. Uh, you might be able to like, get further or like puzzle it out better.
yeah, because she really liked It Takes Two,
Yeah,
and she tells
I
me
should.
sometimes like, "Can we ever play that game again?" And I'm like, I think I had it with Game Pass at that time, so I don't even know if it's still on there. And then every time I have to play something, so it's like, and this April month is not great because you have games out the wazoo. I didn't even get to have a chance to play Adamfall, which came out on Game Pass. That's probably
Right,
something I'm going to look at this week. And then South of Midnight comes out next week, so
right,
um, which I won't get to talk about it on because it comes out the day after we do the episode, but we'll talk about it the week after. And then we get the game Claire Obscure that we've all
yep,
been waiting for too. So, and that's just Game Pass. There's other stuff coming out this month. There's a lot
right.
there. But are anything else for you?
I played Veilguard.
About Veilguard, okay.
That is 100% not a game for you.
Not a game for me. I'm still
I
kind of like the Avowed, but you know,
well,
is it not like Avowed or
no. Yen said, and I know you liked it. Yen said it reminded him a lot of what the hell is the name of that game? The Kurt Schilling game.
Kingdoms of Amalur?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
he
like
said
that
it's a
game a
lot
lot.
like that, and I think it kind of is in combat, but like the levels in that game are so damn constrictive, or like it
Yeah,
just feels like you're
they
it's
were
like
supposed to
all
be like co-op levels.
no,
Yeah, they
it's not.
originally remember that game was supposed to be like a live service game, and then they had to redo it.
Okay, but like, why would there are barely any open spaces in that game. Like
Yeah,
most co-op games have big open areas, you know, and this one it's just like all the towns are like these super convoluted, maps with like very narrow sidewalks and like road, not even like roads, it's just like sidewalks because there's no like horses or anything.
yeah,
Uh, and a lot of it's just like, oh, you you can't get to like this. There's like a platform ahead of you, like on top of you, or not on top of you, but like vertically higher than you, and it's like, oh, you can't access it because you're not like the right guy to do it. And then it's like, oh, once you do, you can just do it whenever you want.
right.
Uh, you know, the characters kind of suck, uh, or they're just not like that engaging. The combat was okay, I guess, but like it just wasn't like that and like engage. I didn't really think it was like that great, because I kept just doing the same thing over and over. I like this like spell guy and could just like You do 3 light attacks and a heavy attack, and that's like the rotation basically. And then it's like, oh, if you get too damaged, then do an ability. But other than that, it's just like, nope, let's keep doing this over and over. He beat it. I didn't. I got like 30 hours into it, but once Shadows came out, I'm like, all right, enough of this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go play a real game now.
It's
So I don't think Dread or Zelgard is for you, but I really don't think Baldur's Gate 3 is for you.
oh
Like,
no, I know for sure you told me that before that.
yeah, I could see you trying Velgard, but like 10 minutes into Baldur's Gate 3, you just be like, no, fuck this, and uninstall it. So
Yeah, I heard it's very obtuse.
yeah, and the end is like, oh, it's not so bad. And I was like, well, yeah, you played it four times, like,
Yeah, of course.
so yeah, those are the big three I played. I got I did buy 2 old PS1 games. I bought Galarians. Ever heard of that?
No.
It's like a weird. It's not great, but it's like a weird like Resident Evil knockoff. Only it's like science fiction based, and you have like psychokinetic powers.
Yeah.
And I also bought a thing called Kingsfield.
Okay, I feel like I know Kingsfield. I just don't. I've seen someone playing it. I don't know particularly.
It is the first game from Software.
Okay, that's where I know it from watching like a history thing on From Software.
Yep.
How is that? Did you play it at all, or
no? I'm missing I don't have the manual for it, unfortunately. But it's cool. I got it. I guess like
yeah, that's the important part.
Yeah. But so that's cool.
That's
all I've been up to.
Yeah, the one game it's one of those things where like I was on that trip and like I told you before we started recording it, I thought what my girlfriend had told me about the Puerto Rico trip was we're going to go to my uncle's house. I got my income tax return the day before we left. So we weren't able to rent a car or whatever. We kind of just had to go wherever her uncle felt like taking us. And so she told me, like, be prepared. We're going to probably just be in the house a lot.
Right.
He actually took us out. Some of it was just going to stores and things like that. But we did go to the beach like 3 or 4 times and got to, and their beaches are way better than anything we got in Miami. They're actually clean and pretty and stuff like that. But the whole point was I didn't play much games as I thought I would. I wound up reading Tomorrow, which is a gaming book. Essentially, it's a game about 2 people that meet when they're kids. They wind up becoming game devs, and then it's kind of like a history of gaming through their lives, sort of, and like game dev and what they go through and stuff like that. And it's actually really good. So if there's a lot of video game history books or games about gaming, like actually having like a novel that includes gaming is actually rare. So
what about Ready Player One?
Well, aside from Ready Player One, which I know is not everybody's cup of tea, I think people that like, books, this actually might be something people that like books might want to read that also want a book about gaming. So I definitely recommend checking that out. The only game that I really spent some time with is Xenoblade Chronicles X, Definitive Edition, which came out the day I left. So I've been playing that here at home, and it's Xenoblade, right? You get your big expansive world. It doesn't have the story hooks that the other games do. This is much more of a explore the open world kind of thing and get your story through exploring the world. And there's huge world to go through. You could definitely tell this is the game that it feels like out of all the other ones, took a lot of the inspiration for Monolith Soft to help out with Breath of the Wild. Because it's really just go there, get to the thing, and then also try to find things before you get there, whether it's monsters, whether it's side quests, whether it's whatever, to get through. It's a lot of systems, just like the other Xenoblade games. But it has more to kind of closer to one, like the battle system, where it's just like hitting the little buttons and making sure that they're filled up or whatever. It's not like the 2 and 3; they're kind of closer together with the battle system. So, um, I'd recommend maybe play a little bit of Definitive Edition, the first one, before you bump into this. But you don't need to play the other games really to play this game.
This is more like the sci-fi one, though, right?
Right. This one was more sci-fi.
This has like a mech suit and shit. So
right, which takes a while. I haven't gotten to where you get the mech yet. It takes a while before you get the mech. You still have to explore on foot for a large part. At least like I feel like I played 15, 20 hours. I'm still not where you get the mech. I'm waiting to get to that, but I've been enjoying the game for what it is. So it looks really good and runs really well, even in handheld. So, I think again, I still don't understand how Nintendo has issues of running some games when Monolith Soft can make this thing run. It still amazes me sometimes how they get these big games to run, but we'll see when we get that Switch 2 Direct how all that works. But yeah, that's been the main game that I've been playing. I really played a very insignificant amount of Suikoden 1 Remaster and Sorry We're Closed and stuff that I don't feel like I could sit there and really talk about it. So just gonna say my piece about this for now, and then we'll see next week what I get up to. But
I didn't know.
Yeah,
I didn't open it, but I did buy a copy of Mario RPG finally for the Switch.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was like $20. So I'm like, why not?
All right, sweet. Oh, I'm guessing you bought it physical, right? Because it will never be $20 digital.
Right, exactly.
But all right, let's get into. So we're gonna go, go from like newest to kind of oldest with the news. So I guess since did this happen on Monday? There was that Nintendo Switch 1 Direct, the last Nintendo Switch 1 Direct that occurred. There was some interesting stuff. What do you think about that Raidu remastered Mystery of the Soulless Army? Would you ever think that was going to get remastered on?
I could see it. That's a pretty unknown like part of the like SMT franchise,
right?
But it's a good one. Like it's not like, yeah, it's good. I played that game back in the day. I didn't play the sequel, but I had that for a while, and I liked it. So
yeah.
Sure.
They showed off quite a bit of Metro Prime 4 Beyond. Yep. Got a nice new trailer, so if you've been looking out for more of that, you definitely got to see that. They have said that I think there is going to be a spot for that in the Switch 2 Direct as well, so we'll probably get more there.
Right.
Along with what we'll talk about. It seems like the Switch 2 is not going to have like an automatic thing that makes your games better. There's just going to be Switch 2 editions of games.
I could see like a boost mode or like they'll do something, but it won't be like crazy.
I could see like Nintendo just not opting for that, honestly, because they want you to buy the games again or whatever. They love doing that. They love making you buy games over and over. So
yeah, but if the thing is going to be backward compatible, I don't think they can get away with it too much.
Yeah. But it could also be like the Xbox One to 360 backwards compatible, where it's like it literally just played the game the way it was.
The 360 or the Xbox One plays it better. So
yeah. There was a platformer, Eternal Life of Goldman, that I thought looked pretty interesting. Also, they did show off a new collection for Gradius as well. Another Pokemon Legends ZA trailer, which showed more of the gameplay, so that's good. The battles looked pretty cool for the most part. The two like big, I guess, reveals from this were that we're getting a new Tamagotchi Life game, which I don't think anybody thought we were getting one.
Well, I know that first game goes for like stupid prices online, but that's
Yeah, it's a game that like Japanese players love for sure.
right.
And then also we're getting a new Rhythm Heaven, which I was extremely excited about. I'm glad we're getting a new Rhythm Heaven after all this time.
It always comes at the end of the console.
Yeah, right. And it's coming in 2026. Also, Tamagotchi Life in 2026. So at least we know the Switch One will get support for at least another year beyond this one. So you don't have to rush out and buy a Switch 2 if you can't find one, but
Right.
at least it'll be there. Did you watch this thing or?
I just watched like the Metroid Prime stuff and then the Raidu stuff.
There's also two Sony games that are being developed by Bandai Namco that are now going to be on Switch. Patapon 1 and 2
Yep.
Remastered, and also the new Everybody Loves Golf, Hot Shots Golf.
Right.
That's coming as well. Everybody Golf Hot Shots. I guess they had to include the name in there. And then also Dotemu has a new one of their beat 'em up games, Marvel Cosmic Invasion, that look really cool as well. So if you love the Streets of Rage 4 and the Ninja Turtles ones that they made, this looks like it's going to be right up there.
Yeah. The problem with those games is they like that Power Rangers game came out and they really come and go.
But the Power Rangers game wasn't made by the same people though. That was different team, right?
I mean, yeah, but it wasn't like it was still like a well-known team, or
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that was Digital Eclipse. Like they're not small potatoes. Like
no, they're not. I'm just saying, Didn't they have problems at launch too? They had to do patching to fix it. From what I remember as well.
It wasn't like busted, but they did like difficulty stuff. And I remember I think the Megazord stuff was like the bad part. So yeah.
Yeah.
Digital Eclipse did that like Cowabunga collection.
Yeah, overall, it was a. Okay. Sure enough.
Yeah.
Yeah, for the most part, it was still a good. It's still a good direct. A good one to go out on. Some cool stuff. We'll see. As we look forward now to the Switch 2 direct, we'll see what we get there. They did reveal a few things that involve the Switch 2. One of the things that they showed off was how you can trade digital games on the Switch, or basically rent out your digital game to another system. It's kind of convoluted. So you can select which games you want to be native on each Switch that you have between two Switches, or I guess your Switch and Switch 2, whenever that happens. And it can be there for 14 days, and then it will have to go back to your Switch 1 or whatever is your home Switch.
Right.
Which I don't know why they can't just make it to where it just permanently goes to that Switch, but
because they want to have DRM and they want to have like they don't want people to like share games like they can on the PS5.
I mean, technically, you could beat the game in 2 weeks and then just reshare it again. I don't understand what
But like
you're gonna lose the save for that game, probably.
Think about like Mario Kart 8 or Smash Brothers. Like,
yeah,
you could, you could race every race in Mario Kart 8. I guess that'd be like technically beating it.
Yeah.
But like the whole point is to play online, or to keep trying to better your time, or like same thing with like Smash Brothers. Like, you could run through Mario's story real quick, and that'll take you 45 minutes, and that'll be about it. But like, no, it's unlocking all the stupid characters or playing the board game thing.
All right.
But I think it's a convoluted system. I think it's kind of dumb, but
Yeah, it is
It's
rather
Nintendo, so what do you
convoluted.
expect?
And then they also had Miyamoto come out to announce that essentially they now have an announcement app called Nintendo Today. And the first thing that they announced is that Legend of Zelda the movie has a release date, which is was it March 27th of next year?
Yeah.
Um okay.
So
Yeah. Essentially they just don't want to deal with Twitter anymore. So, you know.
So Jens asked me this, and I'll ask this to you. Illumination is doing that Zelda movie. Do you think it's gonna have a lot of
I
pop
thought it
songs
was
in it?
I thought it was another company doing it.
I don't think so.
Isn't it? Hold on. It's give me a sec. I swear I remember it being
Well, maybe it is live action.
it is live action, yes.
Right. But here's the question: do you think it's gonna have a lot of pop music in it? A lot of, real world music?
That would be really weird. Like
Yeah.
if you're gonna do live action, to me it doesn't work like that. Where you're gonna
I would say
have
the same
real
thing,
world music.
but that's why they're gonna do it because they need they need to have like the montage music.
It's Sony Pictures doing it.
Right.
Yeah.
But they need to have like the montage music be some like licensed song or
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we get a few, but it's not gonna be the Mario movie type thing.
I hope not.
Because it's supposed to be more like fantasy, right? So we're going to get more of like I think we're going to get more of the Legend of Zelda music.
I think we'll get like a bunch of like covers of like real world songs just done in a fantasy style.
Maybe they could do that. I don't see the need for that. Like
Right.
it's not.
They shouldn't do it, but
and also apparently Sony is planning for this to be a trilogy with Nintendo. So
well, yeah, you gotta get through 8 dungeons. That's like 2.5 dungeons per movie.
I mean they I mean they do have plenty of games to take from. And obviously the unofficial timeline that they don't like to really talk about, but it is there, right?
I see this as basically being 3 distinct timeline movies, where the first movie is like basically original Legend of Zelda, like NES.
Mm-hmm.
Second movie would be Ocarina of Time, and third movie would be Breath of the Wild.
I could see that, yeah.
I think it would be bad if they just did like 3 Breath of the Wild style movies though, or like in that specific.
No, I feel like they know better. Like if anything, if what we saw from Mario is full of Easter eggs and things to go back to Mario, whatever, they're gonna try to do that with Zelda as well, but in a different setting. So I think they definitely are gonna take you through a history sort of Zelda.
It's gonna be great to see.
Yeah,
Danny DeVito as Tingle and Zelda too.
that would be hilarious, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Yeah. So there's no point of us doing like predictions for the Switch 2 Direct because literally for the audio people, y'all probably gonna listen to this and the Switch 2 Direct already happened, and even the video people for that matter. So,
it's gonna have a Mario game on it. That's my prediction.
I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a Mario game. I'm sure there's gonna be. Wouldn't be surprised if we get the Pokemon Gen 10 announcement on that thing. Mario Kart 9 we'll get more of.
And you know what? It's gonna have 4 launch games. It'll be Mario Kart, whatever the hell you said also.
You think Mario is gonna launch? Seriously?
And
I think
then
that's
Ice
their
Climbers.
fall game. What? Yeah, Metro Prime 4 is probably gonna be a launch game as well.
Yeah.
Be surprised. All right. So that's it for Nintendo.
Yep.
For the most part. Just Also, probably should have talked about this on the outset because we were already talking about a Ubisoft game. But there's been that rumored Ubisoft is going to take the big IP that they have and make it into a thing with Tencent by itself, and it's going to be called something else. It has now officially been sort of unveiled. It's going to be based off of Assassin's Creed, Far Cry, and Rainbow Six. They're three major franchises that are still sort of existing. And it will be backed by greater investment and boosted by creative capabilities. Bunch of word salad. It's been valued around $4 billion because it's, their biggest three franchises. And Tencent is going to be investing $1.16 billion to gain a stake of around 25% in it. Do you think that this is going to help them at all?
No. For two different reasons. One, I could see original shareholders of Ubisoft being pissed because it's basically selling three of their most popular brands. Or, I don't think the money is going to be going to Ubisoft anymore. They're going to this new operation. So I could see, shareholders being like, hey, what about us? Or, what are we left with? Rayman and the Rabbids? And
yeah, because they even talk about that apparently eventually Ghost Recon and The Division will also move into this.
That's my other problem.
So
is I don't think just it being what's the name of that thing? Not what's the Tom Clancy thing you just said?
Rainbow Six.
Rainbow Six. It shouldn't be just about Rainbow Six Siege. It should be Tom Clancy. Period. So it should be, Wildlands. And hey, you had a Splinter Cell game, supposedly. Like, what happened to that?
Yep. They don't. Yeah, it's the fact that they don't even mention it in this thing in the press release, right? Like it's like we don't even know where that's at in
the real big question: what's going to happen to Beyond Good and Evil 2?
I guess that's sticking with Rayman over there at Ubisoft.
Yeah, it's getting left in the shithole with Rayman. Like,
like those are going to be the lone rep for whatever, and then the crew and
Trackmania,
and For Honor and all the other things that are.
No, I would say this is the last desperation move, but it's too little, too late. Like Ubisoft just would need to rebrand or.
Shadows has been doing decent. So we don't have sales numbers for Shadows, right? We have.
They've been. Yeah, they said like 3 million players have played Shadows, and that sounds high. Who knows how much it's been actually selling? But sure, even if it's a success though. Like it's like the Ubisoft name is so tarnished that Shadows could be the best game of the year. It probably won't be, but it could be, and it's still not enough to save them. So
I mean, it's not going to hit anywhere near the Monster Hunter 10 million numbers. I'll tell you that right now. It's going to do good for Ubisoft, better than what Ubisoft has been doing, which is.
I think they said it was like the second best Assassin's Creed like launch ever.
Behind was it Valhalla?
Valhalla was number one. See, I look at Ubisoft basically as like the THQ right now, where it's like, okay, like this is what happened to THQ in Saints Row 3, or maybe I think it was 3. It's like you guys need Saints Row, you guys need Assassin's Creed Shadows 2 like tomorrow, or like the next week. And y'all won't have it. And like the next games come up on Ubisoft's docket are to be announced later. Like I can't even think of it. Like I guess I'll keep working on that one Prince of Persia game no one likes or cares about, and that'll be about it.
Well, people like that game. It's just it's gonna take forever to come out because they rebooted it.
Right.
So.
But I think it's I could see a serious case being made for like not insider trading, but like, hey, this is some stock owners could be like, hey, what about us? Or, like,
Yeah, you're basically like
you're,
essentially just giving this to yourself,
yeah, you're like divesting from the company that we have a part of into like a separate entity. And it's like, huh? Like, no.
Yeah, like I wonder how that's gonna play. Does somebody eventually just sue them, or
Right.
it's gonna be a thing. We'll see how far that gets eventually before somebody just says, hey, we're not happy. We know, like Ubisoft stockholders decide to sue or something like that.
That's what I mean. Yeah. Like,
Um,
I think that that family owns a good chunk of Ubisoft, and like Tencent owns another decent sized chunk. But like, there are a lot of other companies
yeah,
and investment firms that own pieces of Ubisoft, and the rest of them could all band together and, if not stop this, at least make it very problematic.
right.
So, and they should, like,
No, they definitely should. I would agree
yeah,
with that. Like, I'd just be very surprised if we don't hear any kind of pushback at all. Like, just people are just like okay with this. If you're still at
right,
Ubisoft, like, especially like the workers, like, what does
yeah,
that mean for? So everybody is working on all these franchises. Like, y'all just get to move over, and then everybody else is just stuck at Ubisoft. So,
right.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, how quickly does it mean to where they will pull the plug on stuff?
Yeah,
It's I would be kind of worried, honestly,
yep.
if I'm them. Uh, also just really quick to get through some other stuff. Square Enix unveiled, surprisingly, on Monday the 25th anniversary of the Final Fantasy IX website. Uh, Mainly because they have merch to sell for it.
Right.
But obviously this has kicked up rumors again about which the figures of Dagger and Zidane look awesome. But beside the point, it has kicked up the whole thing about, is this finally what we're going to get the 9 remake announcement at the Switch 2 Direct? Do you think it's happening?
No,
Do I need to get excited? No.
something would have leaked
Crushing
out
my
by
dreams
now.
here, Mark. Crushing my dreams.
Something would have leaked out by
Yeah.
now, aside from this vague posting on it.
Well, I mean,
This
I
new
really
model.
don't want anything to leak, honestly. I don't want anything. Like, honestly, I'm not gonna look at, well, for one, this is April Fool's and people have been posting stupid stuff. Even though although the Power World like dating thing looks like it might actually be real. But aside from that, I've avoided social media today because people just put stupid stuff. And I want to be surprised when I wake up at 9 a.m. tomorrow and watch that thing. I don't want to know anything aside from the obvious things that are obvious that we probably know are going to be there, right?
Right. Besides,
So
why remake Final Fantasy 9? The next game you have to remake is Final Fantasy 8.
I will be very surprised if 8 ever gets remade. I'm pretty sure they've made rumors that 10 is getting remade and nobody said anything about 8. So I think that gives you the idea of where we're at with a possible 8 remake. I'm sure that hurts a lot of there's a lot of 8 fans out there that I'm sure are very upset that
Yeah.
nobody ever wants to remake 8. But also Warner Brothers has officially canceled the Hogwarts Legacy expansion over the fact that they were worried they didn't have enough content for that expansion.
I don't
Honestly, the
buy
way
that.
Hogwarts Legacy sold, I don't understand. People would be
Right.
excited for any kind of content for Hogwarts Legacy. I don't.
Plus, if they make the expansion, then you can sell like the definitive edition while you're also making Hogwarts Legacy
Yeah,
too. So
I don't know. That seems weird, but I guess they don't want any more failures. Is what they're worried about.
well, we can talk about their failures in a second.
Yeah. Also, Crystal Dynamics and IDOS Montreal both laid off staff. Crystal Dynamics, I think, laid off like 17 people, and IDOS Montreal laid off 75. Interesting that both of
But
those companies are like working with Xbox on games, so it's like,
yeah, it's like, don't worry, Perfect
yeah.
Dark and Fable are still at full steam ahead.
Well, they did just announce a delay for Fable, so we'll see, I guess, where that goes. What was I hadn't seen was there another failure with Warner Brothers aside from
Monolith.
what we've talked about we talked about Monolith already.
Oh,
the last show we did, we talked about
that was
Monolith.
like, I did buy a copy of The Operative, like, I think that week, and then like
Oh, really?
2 weeks ago,
Okay.
I bought I actually found a copy. I was just in a random game store, and they had a dual copy of like Shogo and some other weird Monolith RPG, like the PC versions. For like, all right, I guess I'll buy these for like $9.
Interesting.
You would like. It's old and it's clunky as hell, but you'd probably like Shogo. Because it's
Okay.
like it was like the first attempt to make like an anime video game.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
I might have to check that out then.
Only came out like 1997, so it like barely conforms to anything that you would think of today. Like,
Yeah. Nice.
yeah.
Also, they announced the PS Plus games for April. RoboCop Rogue City. That's cool because it's a game I've actually been wanting to check out. Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which isn't that a like 4v1 game?
Yeah.
And then Digimon Story, Cyber Sleuth Hacker's Memory, which I already own, but
I'll be real curious if you play RoboCop, what you think of like how it performs.
I've heard it's like an old style shooter.
No,
Right?
I meant like actually perform, like how it works.
Oh, perform it. Okay.
Because like I played it and I beat it, but I had nothing but headaches at that game.
Oh, okay. Hopefully they,
No, they didn't.
patch it. No,
I
they never
pretty
patched it.
recently.
Okay.
Yeah, I played it like 3 or 4 months ago, and I was like, "What the fuck is going on?" And then I looked up like Reddit threads from like a year ago, and they were complaining about the same thing. And I was like, "Yo, this is from 10 months
Interesting.
ago, and they still didn't fix this. Like, what?" So
Yeah.
if you play it, I'll be curious. Like what you go think of like whenever the camera changes, the game pitches up for like a second or two. So
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
I wish you luck if you decide to give it a shot.
We'll see. It'll be a while. We'll have to get into like May and June when there's maybe nothing to play again. It depends on when the Switch 2 comes out, honestly.
Right.
And if I get a Switch 2, but we'll see. Apparently that Sims, I don't know what you call it, knockoff, the Enzoi game is not great, but
So hey, it follows the exact same thing as The Sims, then I guess.
yes. Right. I think I saw a lot of people call it soulless or whatever, lifeless. That's never great for a game, honestly, to say.
I can see it because it's just a weird knockoff made by I think a Japanese studio or
Chinese,
Korean.
Korean, studio. All right, let's get into some of the other stuff. The bigger stuff from things we missed. The main one was Xbox with the it's the rumors of Microsoft hasn't officially announced anything, just to be fair with people. This is all rumors from Windows Central and then kind of verified by The Verge as well. Sorry. That the next gen Xbox is coming in 2027. So it's not next year, like many people thought. It's going to be 2027. So we'll see if PlayStation eventually catches up or they still planning for that 2028 time frame.
Yeah.
But then it would also kind of lead to that joke of Hamaguchi saying that don't worry, you will be able to play Final Fantasy 7 Remake Part 3 on the PS5 because there might be a PlayStation 6 by then when that game comes out. We'll see. So it's called Codename I think it's Bayside, and then there's also a partner handheld which is being made with Asus. So think about like ROG Ally, essentially ROG Ally.
Yeah, right.
But Xbox branded,
Yep.
and it's called Project Kennan. It's gonna have an Xbox guide button. It's gonna have I'm assuming an Xbox controller along with it, maybe, or something like that.
No,
That you also
because
it's gonna be the handheld,
yeah, to be
right?
part of it, or yeah.
And it's gonna be more like a PC. So it won't run it'll run everything through PC Game Pass and everything through Windows, and it will then be open to include Steam or other things. The rumor is that essentially the 2027 Xbox console will essentially just be a PC with an Xbox like overlay, and you will also be running things through Windows, which would then allow you to basically have. They showed a mock-up of the whole thing with you could literally have your Steam games, Xbox games, Epic Store games, whatever, all in the same thing, and you just, as long as you have the Steam OS installed or whatever, you could then play it, which also then led to rumors of, well, that means if PlayStation games are on Steam, you could essentially play PlayStation games on your Xbox. Then there was a whole thing about, well, whether PlayStation could actually block it or not. Would it behoove PlayStation to block it? Because really, unless Steam comes up with some kind of deal with Xbox, which they probably won't, Xbox will get no money out of you buying a game off of Steam instead of the Microsoft Store. So if you buy the PlayStation game off of Steam, Microsoft still gets no money. You just get to play it on the Xbox. So
Right.
What do you think about this? Will this be maybe the thing that gets people to buy an Xbox console that before this we had, if you're just going to do the traditional, here's an Xbox with Xbox games that eventually all going to go to PlayStation. Does having an open system where you can play your Steam games, your other games all together in one box, does that move you at all?
No, because it's Asus, and that Asus ROG is a hunk of crap.
Well, okay. What I just said, the last part is that's the console. The Asus thing is only going to be able to do essentially like, what the ROG Ally already does anyway.
Right.
So
I could see the new Xbox possibly running Steam. I mean, you could say the same thing about like PlayStation. Like,
right.
They had that deal initially. Like the PS3 was supposed to run Steam, but it massively fucked up, and it like no game. Like there's never any like Steam games on it. It was just like, hey, you can sign in on Steam with your PS3 account. It's like, okay, I guess.
Right.
But I don't know. Maybe, but I could see Microsoft still wanting to have like a closed system, like only like certain games will be like allowed, or certain. It won't be like, it might be like Steam, Epic, and Xbox, but it won't be like itch.io, or it won't be like GOG, or stuff like that.
Well, it depends, right? If it's running Windows, then technically, unless itch.io or whatever decide to block it from being able to work.
But I have absolutely zero faith in them running Windows on a console, or like a console experience Windows, because
that's the whole point of what they're trying to do, is they're trying to build a Xbox version where it's not going to be this clogged up version of Windows. It's going to be sort of a smoother running, but you can still like install whatever you want to, like you would on.
But we'll still have Cortana. We'll still have Copilot.
Well, yeah, because they're going to put Copilot in the Xbox so you can ask it questions.
Right.
So yes, I'm sure.
See, no, that's the thing is, I just don't believe that they can ever pull off again like a debloated Windows, even if it's just meant for like to run games. Like no, they'll still have like ads for Office 365 or Teams and shit like that.
I wouldn't be surprised that there are, because there's ads on Xbox right now.
Right.
So that wouldn't surprise me at all if they still have ads, or they have little things to try to get you to
I guess I mean, you have an Xbox and I don't. Isn't like the Xbox like the first thing you see when you boot it on is an ad?
When there's a game for them to advertise, yes.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
see that as problematic.
Yeah.
Like even Sony doesn't do that. At
I
least
mean,
not how.
it didn't bother me the few times I've had it happen. I just click the button and it goes away. Like it's not like it just
Right.
constantly is there all the time.
But I could see them. I
Yeah.
could see them doing that, or see
No,
them.
yeah, I could see them doing that. It wouldn't be surprising. Look, my problem with this thing is like what I see it as is the Asus handheld is essentially a way for them to kind of figure out, okay, the people that actually buy this thing, what do people actually want out of a handheld, so that you can get essentially the best version of that when you get the actual Xbox branded Microsoft
Right.
made handheld, right? Um,
Yep.
I don't know if you tell people that there's one coming in 2027, if this is really going to push people to want to buy that. Because the ROG Ally already works really well with Game Pass and stuff like that. So I really don't know what's going to push someone to buy this thing.
It'll have.
It,
Well, like you said, it'll have the Xbox guide button and it'll be more Xbox branded.
I
So
guess.
that's it. I mean, like realistically,
I just, for me, like I want a handheld, a PC handheld, just because I don't want to play games sitting at my chair and this laptop. I don't know when
right?
I'm going to get a new laptop with the way
Me,
things are going.
like,
So
like again, compare that to me, where I spent at least 45 hours playing Shadows in front of my laptop.
yeah, I will play a game on my console while looking at my TV. Even then, I really prefer to just have the thing in my hand and be able to go like sit there next to my girlfriend and watch TV or something else. I've kind of it's when I'm here at not working and I'm just at my house, sure, I'll put something on the TV and I'll play or whatever. But I play a lot of stuff on my Switch, so I kind of been looking into a handheld now. But obviously, the Switch 2 coming out makes it to where, like, okay, any thought I had of getting this handheld has to wait because I'm going to get the Switch 2 first. And then even then, we might as well, if we're going to be in next year, might as well just wait. But I mean, I hope this does well. I hope this Microsoft gets whatever they want out of this so that they can eventually turn it into the handheld thing. My issue is going to be is like, okay, is the handheld now going to essentially replace the Series S? Like, this is going to be the smaller SKU, but then how much is it going to cost essentially for you to have both things if you wanted to have both things? Are we talking about $1,400? Like, is there a bundle that's going to happen eventually where maybe you
Why?
knock off $200 off the handheld? Like,
Why would
you
you need
know,
all three things?
well, because if you want to play, not three things, I'm talking about going to 2027.
Yeah.
If you want to have the console and you want to take it with you, right? You'd have to have the handheld. You still can't. I mean,
Right.
yes, I can play with my phone, but if I want to have the console, the thing, you'd have to buy both, right?
Right.
So, how much does that cost? Is there any kind of taking money off of that for that?
I mean, I could see this
Yeah,
thing. I could see the next Xbox console probably being at least $500.
I think it's going to be closer to the 600-700, but yeah.
Well, that's why I said at least.
Yeah.
But like the ROG Ally isn't exactly like a cheap thing either. I mean, that's at
No, it's
least
not.
like the current one kind of is, but the old model, but like the current one's like 650 or like 600, depending
And
on
we're
like
talking about an Xbox handheld that's going to come out in 2 years later, so that means it's probably going to be just as expensive.
right.
I just don't see that there's not unless they still come. I just don't see that this is not going to be a budget price handheld.
No, God no.
You're gonna come out paying a chunk of money for either the console or the handheld thing.
No,
So,
both.
well, that's what I'm saying. Whether you choose one,
Yeah, but like,
yeah,
I think people are just going to choose one, and I think it'll
yeah.
probably mostly be the handheld.
You think so?
Unfortunately, sure, but I also think it's kind of. I mean, it's a problem. Microsoft's kind of doing it to themselves because their output has been so crappy over the past 2 years. It's like, why would I buy a $600 or $700 like big boy console when it's like,
Right.
okay, I can play Fable on it when it comes out in 2031 or whatever, and that's about it. Or
Yeah.
like another crappy Halo that it's like whatever.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's one of those things where it's like, I like Xbox games. I'm a big fan of Game Pass. Uh I like Xbox's like UI and the controller and stuff. So for me, and if all the games are gonna work, then I may still consider getting an Xbox console. But I also know I will have to get whatever the PS6 is because I'm sure that there's gonna be so many games that I like. The only thing that to me is good about it is that it seems like with the way we are, third parties seem to be less and less signing these exclusivity deals, but then there's obviously still the Japanese companies that don't want to work with Xbox at all. So,
Right.
it is what it is. Well, obviously, as time goes on with that, we'll probably hear more. Supposedly, this Project Kennan is coming out this year, so I'm sure that the Xbox showcase thing in June will be kind of a showcase for that as well. So
Yeah.
I guess we'll get more about that as time goes on. I did mention that they're going to be including Copilot in your
Yep.
Xbox as essentially like a sort of the way that PlayStation has that game help thing
Right.
that I never use, but it's there because I can just go on YouTube. So I guess if you want to do that, I just don't. I just hope it's not obtrusive. Um, but I guess that's fine. I don't.
I don't
You know.
know. I see it like they demoed it and they're like, oh, it'll show you how to build wood in Minecraft or whatever. It's like,
Yeah. Or it's
can't you
like,
just
oh,
say
you
that?
built this thing here. What's the next thing I got to do? And then it tells you.
Right.
You know.
It's like, can't a game just do that by itself? Like,
Yeah. I mean, they could, but with people complaining
especially
about they don't want to be walkthrough games, you know.
that literally is what this thing though is. I
You
mean,
know. Yes, but I mean, I'm just saying, like, for the people they're new to that game and they kind of want to know what's going on. Sure, I guess. For I think the most people, you just go on YouTube, so I don't,
right.
you know,
So
see the point of this. But
exactly.
Microsoft
This
wants
remind
everything Copilot to be running and everything. So
well, two things that reminded me of. It reminded me of the South Park episode where like the kids blocked certain channels on their cable,
yeah,
and like the quiz was like, how do you tame a horse in Minecraft, and none of the parents knew how to do it. And also, like, it just seems like a really weird, desperate attempt to cram AI into like an Xbox, or like
yeah,
this is what they could come up with because the whole stupid company is now AI, quote unquote AI driven. And it's like, why?
right.
It's like, and services got to keep pimping those out and to like what no one wants.
No, definitely not. BlizzCon has been canceled for this year as well already.
uh,
And it will happen in 2026 apparently.
I don't think so. I think BlizzCon's really just done. Period.
Do you
I
think
mean,
that
honestly,
means they have some big announcement for 2026 then if they're already saying that it is going to happen? I mean,
no, I think they're going to
yeah.
cancel it again.
But then
Oh,
why just not say it's just canceled though?
because they want to give people false hope,
I guess.
or
But
they may think it's going to happen, but the higher up's going to go no. Like I think it's just done. Period. First of all, what does Blizzard really have to celebrate anymore?
that's true. Like your Diablo 4 is already out. You're not going to make
Yeah,
Diablo 5 for a long time.
Diablo is
so.
kind of chugging along, and I guess WoW is too, but Overwatch is in shambles. Hearthstone isn't much better. They aren't making like Warcraft 4 or StarCraft 3.
Yeah, that would be the only things to me. Like, unless you're gonna say World of Warcraft 2, a new StarCraft, or a Warcraft 4, which I think there's been some kind of talk about maybe bringing that back or whatever. But like, unless it's something like that, really, what would be the big announcement that you need to have a BlizzCon for outside of just a brand new IP, I guess.
Right.
So,
which they aren't in the business of making. I mean, the last new IP was Hearthstone, and
well, they had that Project Titan that they canceled, right? The survival game or whatever that was supposed to be. So,
I mean, unless they could always do like, quote unquote real remake of like Warcraft or StarCraft or something, but
right,
I doubt it.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know what there's no point of there's not like really a game that they can go take and decide they want to make a better version of that right now. So
if I got put up that Warcraft point and click adventure game,
yeah, the one that they can,
right? And StarCraft Ghost finally.
Yeah. God of War is going to have some projects because it's in the 20th anniversary, which it's going to have like an art exhibition. It's going to have a retrospective book and other things. And obviously this has led to people talking again about the remasters showing up on PS5. Do you think that those are happening? Or...
Yeah. They got to shore up, I think it'll be later, maybe even this year, but they got to shore up the lineup somehow. And it'll be like, they don't want to touch certain games for some unknown dumbass reason. So, unfortunately, it won't be Sly Cooper collection. It'll be God of War collection.
Bloodborne still won't have a remaster.
Right.
But we're going to get all the... To be fair, there's... Some of them are stuck on like streaming only for like the PS3 games, and they are due for that. They are due for remasters. I mean, God of War 1 through...
Hey, so is like Sly Cooper, or so is Infamous, or hey, just put out Resistance 1 through 3, like as like I wouldn't say budget. I mean, $60 game, but put all 3 games in there, and like, here you go.
We still don't know what this. Supposedly People Can Fly is working on a Sony IP game with Sony, which is leading many people to believe that it's like one of the 3 shooter franchises that they no longer make games for.
SOCOM, Resistance, or
Killzone.
Yeah.
Which one? I would bet it's SOCOM. If there's one that's coming back.
I think that would be... I can see why you would think that. I think that would be a very bad choice. And I say that because SOCOM, not SOCOM, Resistance and Killzone have a much more defined style and differentiation compared to Call of Duty. That'd be like the thing that helps separate it, as opposed to here's a third person Call of Duty that is fucked hard. Like,
yeah, I mean, Battlefield only has that problem, right?
SOCOM also, like, the thing that SOCOM was like, that was before like headsets and stuff were like really well known or like popularized. So you could like issue squad commands through like
the
headset.
controller.
And through the controller. Like, you don't really do that anymore in games in the first place. So I could see him, if it was SOCOM, I could see them dumbing it down so much that it would just piss people off. Like, it wouldn't be like Arma or what they think SOCOM used to be. You'd just be like, here's third person Call of Duty.
Right.
Let me get my James Silent Bob skin and buy that, I guess.
Yeah, it's one of those. Like, I just feel like they're so wanting to have their own like Call
Shooter.
of Duty
Oh yeah,
shooter that
I agree.
I wouldn't be surprised if it is SOCOM. Like, it is because like Resistance and Killzone would probably need some of those, a lot of input from the original folks to like really make that feel like those games. Whereas SOCOM, you kind of already have the template. You can then go off of that,
I could
right?
see with either Killzone or Resistance, I could see him being like, 10 years later, whole new setting and story and whatever else.
Yeah,
Like SOCOM is married to like the military or like the
right.
army realism factor, but I don't know how fun that would be for most fans of the genre anymore.
Yeah, that's true too. I mean, that's the thing is people already have enough with Call of Duty. Like that
Yeah,
Battlefield has that problem where it's like we
right,
don't
exactly.
need
Like
another one
they
of
keep
these.
trying, and right,
But I could see it. I hope not, but I could definitely see them try to use the name to.
right.
People Can Fly is already working on Gears with Coalition, so
Yep.
interesting. People Can Fly is just doing like a bunch of stuff right now as well. So, did you know that Acclaim came back, Mark? That's the
Yep.
developer that
Headed by Jeff Jarrett.
yeah, it's Jeff Jarrett of all people. And he made a big deal about how he like had worked on with the TNA game and all this stuff, and it's like, really, this is why we're bringing back. But I mean, hey, if this is another publisher that's going to help indie games and stuff like that, and then kind of like have their own, I guess, lesser known IP that they're going to work on.
This will be the company that puts out the new AEW game.
Yeah, exactly. Not Embracer or whatever. They'll go over here and play this. It's just funny. Like I got basically back all those memories of playing those old WWF games.
Kind of good memories of Acclaim because I always thought they were kind of terrible. So,
well, the wrestling games from back in the day is really what for me the Attitude and Warzone and
those are not good games. Like
they were fine for their day,
Warzone was okay, but Attitude was bad.
Yeah. When they started adding too much stuff. There's going to be Chrono Trigger 30th anniversary projects, which obviously exciting for me.
Where's the Chrono Trigger, rebirth or
yeah, man,
remake?
If they announce a freaking remaster for this game, I swear
they already have. They already ported it over, and
I know they did, but that DS game is kind of expensive. So
it's only $100.
Hey, still, also, I mean, I have the DS to play it, but still, the thing is, at least they're doing it. Will they make another? They said everything outside of the game world, so. But who knows? Yeah, maybe they will surprise, but I doubt it. The Final Fantasy 9 one is probably more realistic because that one's been in the NVIDIA League along with the Tactics Remaster, but we'll see. Speaking of actual games that have been announced, Warhammer 40K Space Marine 3, Power Wash Simulator 2. It actually did well enough that they could self-publish the game. And then the remnants of Zaum have announced a new game, C4. I don't know why they keep announcing games, that company, because most of the time they just end up canceling them.
Yep.
So, the KOTOR remake is still fine. It's still in development, supposedly.
Yep. They're showing no gameplay or footage, but I'm sure it's A-okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're like they did say that Disney controls that, so maybe they're waiting for the May 4th thing to show off anything for it. That would be my only thought. Is they're just hoping for the devs because personally that wasn't like one of my favorite games or whatever. But for the devs that are working on that game, that they're still working on it,
You mean KOTOR or
yeah, KOTOR, yeah.
See, I really like that game, but I just think like if you try to go back to it now, like most modern people can't play it, and I think them trying to bring it up to like a modern standpoint is just going to piss off all the old fans.
You think they would really make a lot of changes to it? I feel like Aspire doesn't really do that. Well, it's not Aspire anymore. It's like Saber, but
I mean, I think they would turn it into like a more active, not even. Oh, it would have RPG elements, but it'd just be like
yeah,
a regular action game basically, or it wouldn't be like queuing up turns and shit like that.
right.
Or it might have that, but it'd be like buried in like a menu or something. Like it'd be like classic combat or something.
Fair enough. Yeah, I could kind of see that point, right? Of like you don't want it to change too much, but I mean, I guess if they have the option to let you play it the old way,
right,
it wouldn't be too bad. But I love Power Wash Simulator 1, so I'm happy that there's a Power Wash Simulator 2. So
I'm happy, but like if they're gonna self-publish it, how are they gonna get all those sweet Final Fantasy jobs in this thing?
yeah, they can still make a deal with Square Enix.
Yeah.
They have random stuff in that game. And Space Marine 2 is great. So more Space Marine 3.
Space Marine 3 or Space Marine 2, me and Jens, I mean, we played and beat it, but like the multiplayer in the game is like really weird and not good.
No, it's really definitely more for the single player than it.
Yeah. Well, like it has like this the single player, well, not single player, but like the campaign itself is good, co-op campaign, but like the whole separate like other co-op campaign is like the problem because you have like these like weird character classes that are all kind of bad.
So, did you see that Tony Hawk decided that he made some changes to the soundtrack? For the remasters, and apparently he got Bam Margera to be in the game anyway, even though he was apparently not going to be in it.
I don't care about the soundtrack as much. I mean, it has Ace of Spades, so that's all anyone cares about. Tony Hawk 3.
Yeah.
Bam is good. I would say you kind of have to have him because he's one of the more iconic names of that franchise.
Yeah.
Along with like Bob, Rodney Mullen and
Bob Burnquist.
Yeah. Also, you need him for when you guys do Thug 1 and 2. Remakes. Like he's pivotal in Thug 2 at least. I forget about Thug 1. I think he's in it, but Thug 2, he's like main character aside from Tony Hawk. So gotta have him.
They do have a few modern skaters.
I know.
In this
yeah. So yeah, I'd say good. I hope Bam is clean.
Or
he seems a little better now. So yeah, I mean, I'll get that game probably when it comes out. I'm excited for it. I know they're changing
out July 11th. So
I know they did change Tony Hawk 4's campaign as well to basically do the old ones.
Didn't they remove the mission structure or something like that?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's just like 2-minute long runs and you collect skate and combo and all that crap. I guess. I don't remember 3. Sorry, I don't remember 4 much at all. Like I kind of went from like Tony Hawk 3 to Thug 1, so whatever.
Yeah.
3 is what I care about.
Yeah. And Death Stranding 2 is going to come out June 29th. You get early access on June 24th if you pay for the
pre-order it or sign your soul over to Kojima.
The thing that everybody does now, where you can get it like 5 days early or whatever.
Right.
Hey, the trailer looks cool. I know it's neither one of ours like bag of games, but hey, that's gonna be the big Sony game, I guess, for this year, the Death Stranding 2. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else you wanted to talk about from the time that we
really.
have. Yeah.
Yeah. I can't even think. It's been like a blur for the past 3 weeks.
Yeah,
So
it's been a while. Yeah. But all
especially
right.
me just
Go
focusing on
ahead.
the shadows for like the past week and a half. So
Yeah, you feel like you just been playing that game for that long.
yeah.
But I guess we will, end the show the same way we always do. Just a reminder again, you'll probably see it in your feeds by the time you're watching or listening to this, but we are going to do the direct, a Nintendo Switch 2 direct, like kind of reaction review episode. So that won't be on the episode next week. We'll kind of, I guess, maybe give some ancillary thoughts of anything that's been talked about after. But yeah, there are some games coming out this week. Croc Legends of Gobos, that
Finally.
remaster is finally coming after getting delayed on April 2nd, coming to everything. Yeah, why not? Katamari Damacy is having a new game that's Apple Arcade exclusive called the
Yep.
Katamari Damacy Rolling Live.
So that means we can completely ignore it.
Yeah, Roller Coaster Tycoon is also getting a Apple Arcade exclusive like new game as well. And also the Game of Life 2, which is hilarious. Last of Us Remastered Part 2 comes out on PC. Hopefully it's not as buggy as the first one. You know how that
Keep
went.
that dream alive.
And that's kind of it. South of Midnight does come out that Tuesday after we do the next episode. So get ready to, play that on Game Pass or however it is that you want to check that out. So yeah. So if there's nothing else, I guess that's it for this week. And for all the stuff that happened, we weren't doing a show. Thank you for checking it out. We'll be back next week with a regular episode on Monday around 9:00. It'll be laid out later in your feeds. And again, we're doing that Switch 2 show. So we'll be back pretty soon. Later, everybody.
Later.